Assalamu alaikum, Doctor, and all my colleagues. Today, I would like to give my presentation about the case study. So, my topic is about Iraqi undergraduate students switching codes between informal Iraqi dialects and English language. Basically, it is about code switching in Iraqi context. Moving on, so let's begin by a short introduction. A language content is a common language phenomena in any multilingual society. So contacts between language brings about variations and changes in languages. So among the most phenomena of language content is code switching. So code switching is alternative use of two or more languages in the same conversation bilinguals. So basically, my focus is two languages, which is the Arabic language and English language. So the code switching from Arabic to English is a common occurrence among Arabic English speakers in general and among Iraqi English speakers in particular. Also Iraqi undergraduate students who are non-specialized English language speakers use to code switch the majority of the time. They sometimes current difficulties when communicating with other Iraqi students. For example, these students use most of the time the English in the English in their daily. Some they slowly use Arabic in their daily communication. So as a result, they may confusion or misunderstanding in their use of English language. There may be even a negative effect of their first language when these students misuse terms in English language. So a negative effect of the user of code switching in their first language as may lead to loss of fluency in the first language. Therefore, this study, I aim to identify the types of code switching patterns among Iraqi undergraduate students and the reason for the switching from Arabic to English language. So, past previous studies of code switching, one of the studies that I've found is connected by Abu Hassan and Ashawi on Saudi Arabic speaker of English in United States. They confirmed that all students code switch bilingually from Arabic to English. There is a relation between the amount of intricacy of bilingual code switches and the respondents' level of English competence. They get the English be easier as a way for a tool for enhance their English. They furthermore state that the reason for moving from Arabic to English is due to the lack of understanding of forgetting the terms in Arabic, as well as the ease with which it may be spoken in English. So, as we all know, the growth of English use as being nowadays as the universal foreign language, along with the technology development, so leads the massive increase of multilingual speaker extents. So the internet help them in translating the English word to their natives. So however, the more exposure they get, the greater their chance to adopt to the new words they got. So this results in the use of code switching, basically. So because there is a few research have done emphasizing on code switching Iraqi context, so this study may discover a new discovery of kinds or causes behind the code switching phenomena among Iraqi students in university domain might be achieved. So I use two instruments for collecting data, which is audio recording instrument and after following by interview these students. My students A3. So I want the data obtained from the audio recording instrument revealed that Iraqi undergraduate students of Baghdad University do code switch from informal Iraqi dialect to English language. Among the three Iraqi undergraduate students who participate in this study, the most recurrent type is intra-essential code switching. So the students use the English language especially in social expression, to create, to apologize. So the most widely used social expression in their daily communication with others, such as thanks, thank you, okay, all right, and so on. How about the data that I get from or the result from interview that I get the reason for occurrence of code switching, which is due to you can see due to the lack of proficiency and also the impact of technological. So mostly the three students saw that the computation of foreign power in Iraq in 1914 or 2003 has influenced the use of code switching among the younger Iraqi. They indicate that during the time of their birth, many English terms of words have been in use widely in their daily communication. So they consequently they learn to use these words from young. It is clear that Iraqis were affected by British, American when they occupied Iraq. So the occupation of Western power in Iraq has brought about extensive borrowing of words from the English language to be used in their daily communication. In addition to that, the reason why the Arabic is not used to describe certain items, they found that sometimes they forget the words or terms in Arabic. So on the opposite, the English word for this item came easily to their mind. Furthermore, the participants showed that also the technology has played a major role, influence in the use of English terms and their communication. The effect, for example, the smartphone, laptop, even the social media like Twitter, Facebook, internet has take an important role in occurring one of the reasons for occurrence of code switching among Iraqi students. So meanwhile, I want to say that the interview, they say that very interested in using the English language in their daily communication. They feel that sometimes but in addition that they feel shy, lack confidence, and worried of being embarrassed in front of others and may affect negative way in their English, in their native language, which is Arabic. So they realize the importance of English language throughout the world. So about discussing of my finding, the result of study is dominated that Iraqi students had tendency to employ code switching in intra-essential contexts. So the method of code switching applied by participants, they help them or allow the others to understand their speech. So hence, code switching occurs to help the participant accomplish their conversation goals. So if a little of information of intra-essential code switching refer to the change in speaker language choice when the situation but remain the same. For example, sometimes they say half the sentence in Arabic and complete the second half in English language. For example, you can see here, أريد أشتري. أريد أشتري is Arabic, so rob is English. So they speak Arabic, then complete by English. They're written by Arabic word. For example, أريد أشتري rob غدنان. So the speaker began the utterance in Arabic, then shifted to the English language, and finally went back to Arabic. In this case, a speaker filled the gap in their utterance as a communicative intent. So one of the studies that support the finding of this study is done by Abu Hassan Al-Shawi, support the finding that participants use words in the English language in their daily communicating since they were unable to record the terms in Arabic. Another study agree with this support the finding is especially the point of political computation. A study for Karma support that she said that Moroccan Arabic speakers were affected also by French computation. So they switch it from Arabic to French in their daily communication. Like what they're saying is in Iraqi context, they switch from Arabic to English language due the computation of American, of Western power. So as a conclusion, it may conclude that code switching is not interference with language. Rather, it is a complement to speech. So it's used when speaker unable to use particular terms. Because the speaker want to transmit their attitude to the listener, they switch in order to remain continuity in the speech, rather than to present interference in language. So although this study used a small number, only 3 students, so maybe recorded, but it is recorded are not worthy edition. So the result of this cannot be unsuitable to establish any conclusion about the nature of code switching among Iraqi students. Hence, cannot be to present the whole population of Iraqi students uh, due to the small sample of participants. So this study implied that the native speaker in nations invaded by foreign forces likely to code switch. Additionally, the data indicate that even the technology advances, as the technology advances, more Iraqi as use the English language rather than Arabic to explain phrases or concepts related to with social technology, basically. So that's all for me. I want to thank you for your listening.